Welcome. Welcome to this deep dive. You're likely here because you're looking for, well, more than just the usual surface stuff, right?
hmm
Those moments, those aha moments that really click and change how you see things. But, you know, without feeling totally overwhelmed by jargon.
Exactly, getting to the heart of it.
Yeah. So today we're exploring something truly powerful. It's this idea of how cultivating a positive mindset, and we're drawing from some deep Buddhist wisdom here, can actually shape your reality.
It's a profound concept, not just wishful thinking, but something quite fundamental.
Right. It's not just about feeling happy all the time. It's deeper, a real shift.
Indeed. And we'll be exploring how this idea isn't just abstract, but how it translates into, well, practical ways of living and thinking day to day.
Perfect. So the plan is we'll start with this core Buddhist idea that our thoughts are like seeds, each one holding potential.
Just seeds of the mind.
Exactly. Then we'll dig into why just having positive thoughts, well, it isn't quite enough. It takes conscious effort, real nurturing.
The cultivation part.
Yeah. And we'll also look at how we can actually work with, maybe even transform the negativity that, let's face it, pops up for everyone.
Turning lead into gold, in a sense.
Ooh, I like that. And finally, we'll aim for this richer understanding of positivity that goes beyond just, fleeting happiness, connecting it to purpose.
A deeper sense of meaning. Yes. It promises to be quite the journey into our inner world.
It does. Ready to start planting some seeds?
I am. Let's begin.
Okay. So this foundational idea first, the seeds of your mind. There's this Buddhist concept, Bijas, you can think of them as these subtle imprints left by our thoughts.
Like tiny blueprints?
Yeah, exactly. Blueprints for our reality.
Yeah.
It's a really compelling image, I think. It suggests our minds are like these incredibly fertile gardens.
It does paint a vivid picture, and the crucial part is, just like a gardener, carefully chooses which seeds to plant and which to weed out.
We have that choice too.
We do. We have the ability, the potential at least, to select and cultivate the thoughts that will eventually shape our inner landscape. Every fleeting thought, you see, even the ones we barely notice, is a seed.
Wow. So every thought has potential. It makes you think if we're constantly, say, replaying worries or self-criticism, it's like we're deliberately planting weeds, aren't we? Over and over again.
That's a very apt way to put it. We're watering the weeds.
But then what happens if we intentionally, consciously sow seeds of gratitude or kindness or hope?
Then the garden begins to flourish in a very different way. The impact can be truly transformative, shifting the entire ecosystem of the mind.
It brings to mind that powerful quote from the Buddha. You probably know the one I mean.
All that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make the world. Yes, it's so direct.
It really is. And it's not just about the odd thought here or there, is it? It's about the patterns, the consistent ways of thinking that really sculpt our experience.
Precisely. It's the habitual thoughts, the ones we return to again and again, that form the fundamental building blocks of how we perceive everything, how we interact with the world.
It really makes you pause and listen to those inner conversations we have, doesn't it? That internal chatter. One of our sources mentioned this story about a young man in India named Arjun. He was apparently really stuck in negativity.
Caught in that cycle.
Yeah, self-doubt, comparing himself, envy,
Yeah.
the usual suspects. Then he gets this advice from a monk, just simple advice about special seeds.
Special seeds. I like that. What was the advice?
Just to actively, consciously replace those negative thoughts with positive affirmations, but specifically focusing on gratitude and self-compassion.
So not just generic positivity, but targeted cultivation. Gratitude and self-compassion. That's key.
Right. And what's amazing is how this internal shift, this gardening work he did, started showing up externally.
That's often how it works, isn't it? The inner reflects the outer.
Totally. It wasn't just that he felt a bit better inside. His relationships apparently improved dramatically, new career doors opened, and he found this deep sense of inner peace that he hadn't had before.
It's a powerful illustration. It shows that tending the inner garden isn't just navel-gazing. It has real, tangible effects on our lives. Far-reaching effects.
It really poses the question, doesn't it? What if the way we consistently think, the seeds we plant and water, really lays the foundation for everything that unfolds for us? We all see it. Some people just seem to attract positive things, good fortune, while others seem to face one struggle after another, even if they're trying hard.
It's a common observation.
Could it be that the difference, or at least a big part of it, lies in the kind of mental seeds they're cultivating? Day in, day out.
It strongly suggests that. It points towards our own agency, doesn't it? our capacity to actively participate in creating our reality through how we direct our thoughts.
We're not just passive victims of circumstance.
Not at all. We are co-creators in a very real sense.
And this idea we came across about committing to positive thinking for, say, 30 days. It wasn't framed just as a feel-good challenge.
Yeah. How is it framed?
More like a way to actually rewire the brain, to shift our overall energy signature almost. That sounds like more than just wishful thinking.
It does. It highlights the proactive nature of this path. Positivity isn't something that just passively descends upon us. It's something we actively cultivate.
Through consistent effort.
Through consistent, conscious effort and focused intention. It's work, but deeply rewarding work.
Okay, so thoughts are seeds. We get that. But how do we actually do the gardening? How do we tend this inner space effectively? That seems to lead us to the Buddhist concept of right effort.
Yes, Samavayama, part of the Noble Eightfold Path.
Right. What does that mean in practical terms? How does it connect to cultivating positivity?
Well, what's really insightful about right effort is how it bridges that understanding knowing thoughts are powerful with the need for conscious action. It's not enough just to know positive thoughts are good.
To have to do something.
Exactly, right? Effort is about the deliberate, continuous work involved. It has 4 aspects, really. Preventing unwholesome thoughts from arising, overcoming those that have arisen, cultivating wholesome thoughts, and maintaining those wholesome thoughts.
So it's both weeding and planting, actively.
Precisely. It's about consciously directing our mental energy, nurturing the beneficial states, and actively letting go of the harmful ones.
I like the analogy of the mind as a river. You can't just wish for the water to be clear. You have to actively stop pollutants from entering, maybe build channels to guide the flow towards clarity. It's an ongoing process, directing that current of thought.
A beautiful analogy, and what's fascinating is how this ancient wisdom, thousands of years old, resonates so clearly with modern neuroscience.
You mean neuroplasticity?
Exactly. The understanding that our brains aren't fixed, static things. They're constantly adapting, forming new connections, reshaping themselves based on our repeated thoughts and behaviors.
So when we consistently focus on positive thoughts, on gratitude, on compassion,
we are literally strengthening the neural pathways associated with those states. We're building brain circuits for happiness, for resilience, for peace.
it's almost like physical training for the brain.
Yeah.
Building a more positive mental infrastructure through conscious, repetitive effort. That's quite something.
It is. It empowers us. And there's research, like Dr. Barbara Fredrickson's broaden and build theory.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
It suggests that positive emotions do more than just feel good temporarily. They actually broaden our awareness, our mindset. They help us build lasting psychological resources, creativity, resilience, social connections that help us thrive, especially when we face challenges.
So it's not just about chasing a fleeting high. It builds capacity for the long run.
Precisely. It equips us better for the whole of life.
Which underlines that this is a disciplined practice, isn't it? Not just waiting for happiness to happen, but actively shaping our inner world. A daily commitment, really.
Exactly that. It requires intentionality. Positivity isn't some passive state we just, stumble into if we're lucky. It's an active cultivation, demands ongoing attention and effort.
And that 30-day experiment idea seems like a very concrete way to start applying right effort.
Yeah.
Consciously catching those negative thoughts.
Noticing them arise.
Yeah, like, oh, I'll never manage this, or I'm just not good enough. And then actively, consciously replacing it.
Reframing it. Perhaps shifting I'll never succeed to something like, okay, this is challenging, but I am learning and growing with every step.
Right. Or I'm capable and I'm figuring this out.
Mm-hmm. The beauty of this practice, which might feel a bit mechanical or even forced at first.
Yeah, I can imagine it feeling a bit fake initially.
It can. But the beauty lies in the cumulative effect. With consistent repetition, day after day, these new positive thought patterns start to become more automatic, more deeply ingrained.
So you're literally retraining the brain's habits.
You are. You're forging new neural pathways, making positivity the more traveled road in your mind. It becomes second nature over time.
That analogy of the mind as a mirror feels relevant again here. Like negativity clouds the mirror, right? Distorts the reflection.
It does. It makes it hard to see clearly.
But mindfulness, noticing the thoughts, and this conscious positivity practice, It's like wiping the mirror clean.
Exactly. Allowing for a clearer, more accurate perception of ourselves, of others, of situations.
And when you see things more clearly,
You naturally make better decisions. You build stronger, healthier relationships. You navigate life's complexities with, well, with greater wisdom and understanding. You see possibilities where before you only saw problems.
okay, but let's be real. Negativity happens. Stress, disappointment, frustration. They're part of the human package. We can't just, positive think them away entirely.
Absolutely not. And Buddhist wisdom doesn't suggest we should try to annihilate negativity. That would be unrealistic, even counterproductive.
So how do we deal with it then? This leads us to that fascinating idea of the alchemy of transformation, turning negativity into gold.
That's the essence of it. What's particularly insightful from this perspective is that negativity isn't seen as an enemy to be feared or suppressed.
No.
No. Instead, it's viewed as an invitation, a potential catalyst for growth, much like the famous image of the lotus flower.
The lotus emerging from the mud.
Exactly. The muddy, murky water isn't something the lotus avoids. It's the very source of its nourishment, the condition necessary for its beautiful bloom.
That image is so powerful, isn't it? Something so pure, so beautiful, coming directly out of something that seems, well, unpleasant, dirty.
It completely reframes our relationship with difficulty. It suggests that our struggles, our mud, can actually be fertile ground for developing wisdom, compassion, and resilience.
It changes how you look at challenges. Our sources shared another story about Maya, someone facing real hardship, poverty, serious self-esteem issues.
Tangible difficulties.
Right, and she apparently found huge transformation by really embracing that teaching from Thich, Nhat, Hanh, no mud, no lotus.
A simple phrase, but profoundly deep.
She started practicing mindfulness, gratitude, self-compassion, basically working with her difficulties rather than just fighting against them or being crushed by them.
Learning to see the hardship not as a dead end, but as the necessary condition for her own growth, her own lotus to bloom.
And the sources suggested that within like 30 days or so, she saw remarkable changes, better relationships, finding fulfilling work, this real sense of inner peace settling in.
It truly highlights the transformative power of shifting our perspective on negativity. Not denying it, but relating to it differently.
And this connects to another core Buddhist concept, doesn't it? Impermanence.
Annika, yes, absolutely. Understanding that everything changes, nothing is fixed, including our thoughts and emotions.
So when a negative thought or feeling arises,
Recognizing it as transient, as temporary, like a cloud passing through the sky, diminishes its power, its hold over us. If you know the storm will pass, you don't cling to the misery of the rain quite so tightly.
it creates space.
Exactly. It creates space for something else to arise, for positivity, for clarity, for peace. Just knowing this too shall pass is incredibly powerful alchemy.
That really resonates with modern psychological ideas about resilience, doesn't it? Bouncing back.
It aligns perfectly. Think of Dr. Martin Seligman's work on explanatory styles.
Right. Optimistic versus pessimistic styles.
Precisely. People with an optimistic style tend to see setbacks as temporary. This is a tough moment, not my life is ruined. Specific, I failed at this task, not I'm a total failure. And often external, the conditions were difficult, not it's all my fault.
Whereas a pessimistic style sees setbacks as permanent, pervasive, and personal.
Exactly, and that difference in interpretation dramatically affects resilience. The Buddhist understanding of impermanence naturally cultivates that more optimistic, resilient view. Shifting, I always fail to, okay, this particular attempt didn't work out, what can I learn from it, is a fundamental shift.
And the sources offered some really practical, everyday ways to integrate this. Simple things.
Like what?
Well, starting the day with a moment of reflection, maybe setting an intention or just thinking of something you're grateful for.
Setting the tone.
Or when a negative thought spiral starts, pausing, taking a mindful breath, acknowledging the thought, maybe letting it go with the out-breath, and consciously replacing it with an affirmation, like, I am capable and strong.
Using the breath as an anchor. Very powerful.
And things like consciously doing small acts of kindness for others or even for yourself, generating that positive energy.
That outward focus shifts perspective too.
And ending the day by reflecting on one positive experience or something you're grateful for, training the brain to scan for the good.
What's significant about these practices is how accessible they are. They aren't huge undertakings.
No, they fit into a normal day.
Yet, their consistent application, day by day, can create these profound shifts in our baseline well-being and our ability to work constructively with negativity.
And it all seems to tie back to that principle of right action from the Eightfold Path. Every choice matters.
Every single choice. Even the seemingly small ones, like choosing a positive reframe over a negative spiral or offering a kind word instead of a criticism. Each choice contributes to our overall state of being.
And choosing positivity, choosing kindness, it creates this ripple effect, doesn't it? Affecting not just us, but those around us too.
Precisely. It underscores that deep interconnectedness again. Our inner state radiates outwards. Choosing positivity isn't just a personal benefit. It's a contribution to a more positive, harmonious world for everyone.
Now, when people hear positive thinking, sometimes, there's this assumption, maybe even a criticism, that it's about pretending everything's fine, being happy all the time, suppressing anything difficult.
Yes, that's a common misconception, a kind of toxic positivity idea.
Right. But the sources we looked at, drawing from Buddhist thought, they offer a much more nuanced picture. True positivity seems to go beyond just chasing happiness.
This is a really vital distinction to make. The Buddhist concept of dukkha. It's often translated as suffering, but it's broader than that. Maybe dissatisfaction or the inherent imperfection of existence.
Okay.
It points to the fact that life inevitably involves challenges, discomfort, things not going exactly as we want. So to cling desperately to the expectation of constant, uninterrupted happiness.
That's setting yourself up for disappointment.
Exactly. That clinging, that expectation itself, becomes a source of dukkha, a source of suffering, because it denies the fundamental reality of life.
So it's not about denying pain or difficulty exists. That's not what this deeper positivity is about.
Not at all. It's about acknowledging the whole spectrum. The sources contrast dukkha with sukha. And sukha isn't just fleeting pleasure.
What is it then?
It's described as a deeper, more enduring contentment, a sense of well-being that arises from acceptance, from equanimity, from inner balance. It's rooted in a peaceful mind and a compassionate heart.
And crucially, it's not dependent on external circumstances always being perfect.
Precisely. It's an inner quality you cultivate. This is where true positivity lies, not in the frantic pursuit of the next pleasure, but in cultivating resilience, wisdom, and a sense of purpose that remains steady even when the waves of life get rough.
That story of James, the entrepreneur, it really hit this point home for me. He was successful by all external measures, right? Money, status.
Achieved a lot.
But inside, he felt empty, unfulfilled. And his 30-day positivity challenge, the one that actually worked for him, wasn't about manifesting more success.
What was it focused on?
It was focused on presence, on gratitude for what he did have, and interestingly, on service to others, finding ways to contribute.
Shifting the focus outwards, towards meaning and connection.
Yeah, and that's what brought him genuine fulfillment. It apparently transformed both his personal life and how he approached his business. It wasn't just about the bottom line anymore.
His experience really underscores this idea that authentic positivity naturally guides us towards more meaningful engagement with the world. It connects beautifully with another part of the Eightfold Path.
Right.
Livelihood.
Making a living in a way that aligns with your values.
Yes. Seeking work and activities that resonate with who you are, that don't cause harm, and ideally that contribute positively to the well-being of others and the planet.
So this deeper positivity naturally leads you to see things differently. Like, challenges aren't just obstacles.
They can become opportunities to learn, to grow, to serve.
And failures aren't devastating endpoints.
But valuable lessons, feedback on the path.
And successes aren't just for personal gain.
But chances to uplift others, to share the abundance.
That's a significant reframing, isn't it? Moving away from a purely self-centered view.
Towards a more interconnected, purpose-driven way of living, where our own well-being is naturally linked to the well-being of the whole.
And the sources kept emphasizing, this isn't a destination you suddenly arrive at, like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm positive now.
Yeah, definitely not.
It's an ongoing journey, embracing the full spectrum, the ups and the downs, with courage and compassion.
And grace. It's a continuous process of learning, refining, growing, navigating both the smooth seas and the stormy weather with a foundation of inner understanding and acceptance.
So we've journeyed from thoughts as seeds, through the need for right effort, the alchemy of transforming negativity, and now this deeper sense of positivity linked to purpose, beyond just happiness. Where does this ultimately lead? What's the summit?
Well, perhaps the summit isn't a place, but a way of being. This is where positivity stops being something you do and becomes deeply integrated into who you are. It's about aligning your thoughts, your words, your actions, your intentions, aligning everything with your core values, your deeper purpose.
Which connects back to another aspect of the path, right? Intention.
Exactly. Sama Sankappa, consciously directing our will and energy towards liberation, towards non-harming, towards compassion, towards what truly matters in the bigger picture.
And this links to that profound Buddhist principle of interconnectedness. You mentioned Indra's net earlier. Can you unpack that a bit?
Ah, Indra's net. It's a beautiful, potent metaphor from Mahayana Buddhism. Imagine a vast cosmic net stretching out infinitely in all directions.
Okay.
At every node, every intersection of the net, there hangs a single brilliant jewel. And the magic is each jewel perfectly reflects every other jewel in the entire net, infinite reflections within reflections.
Wow, so everything reflects everything else.
Precisely.
Eh,
It illustrates the intimate, inescapable interconnectedness of all phenomena, all beings. What happens to one jewel affects and is reflected in all the others.
So my individual positivity, my state of being, it's not just contained within me.
Not at all. It radiates outwards, reflected in the jewels around you. It creates ripples, a chain reaction of kindness, of understanding, of growth throughout the entire web of life. Your inner state contributes to the tone of the universe in a way.
That's huge. There was that story of Tenzin, the monk in the Himalayas.
Yes, the simple monk whose presence shifted a village.
Right. His consistent, simple acts of blessing, of quiet kindness, just radiated out and fostered this whole culture of compassion in his village.
No.
It wasn't like he was giving big speeches or leading campaigns.
No. It was the power of his sustained positive intention, his way of being. It demonstrates how profound the effects of quiet, consistent goodwill can be. It changes the atmosphere.
And this connects to practices we can actually do, like metta meditation, loving kindness.
Absolutely. Metta is a very direct, practical way to cultivate this sense of interconnectedness and generate those positive, wholesome states.
How does it work generally?
Typically, you silently repeat phrases of well-wishing. You start with yourself. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. Then you gradually extend those wishes outwards to loved ones, neutral people, difficult people, and eventually to all beings everywhere.
Intentionally cultivating feelings of warmth and goodwill.
Yes. And research actually backs this up now. Studies show metta practice can increase positive emotions, foster empathy and connection, reduce stress, anxiety, even chronic pain in some cases. It's a powerful tool for cultivating that inner jewel.
And the sources also touched on positivity not just being about giving out, but also receiving, making a link between the law of attraction idea and the Buddhist principle of karma. How does that work?
Well, karma fundamentally means action, intention-driven action. The principle is that wholesome intentions and actions tend to lead to favorable results, while unwholesome ones tend to lead to unfavorable results. It's about cause and effect, driven by intention.
So choosing positivity, cultivating positive intentions and action.
It naturally aligns you with more positive, supportive conditions and outcomes. It's not necessarily magic, like wishing for a parking spot. It's more about creating an inner resonance, a state of being that naturally attracts and recognizes opportunities, connections, and circumstances that are aligned with well-being and growth. You become receptive to the good.
It's like tuning your radio to the right frequency.
That's a good way to think about it. You're aligning your energy.
And those daily actionable steps came up again here. The morning ritual mindfulness, gratitude,
Setting the intention for the day.
the power of affirmations, especially when facing challenges, reminding yourself, I am resilient, I can handle this.
Reinforcing positive beliefs with conviction.
Creating that ripple effect through small, conscious acts of kindness.
Spreading the positivity.
And the evening reflection checking in. How did my actions uplift myself and others today?
These aren't just random self-help tips. In this context, they become expressions of right intention, right action, right effort. They are ways to actively cultivate that garden of positivity, moment by moment.
So they become tangible ways we express our commitment to living purposefully.
Exactly. They are expressions of our highest self, our commitment to living with authenticity, and contributing positively to the interconnected web we're all part of.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, it feels like the final revelation isn't about achieving positivity as some external goal.
No, it's more profound than that.
It's that through this dedicated practice, this conscious cultivation, positivity becomes, well, it becomes part of who you are. It gets woven into the fabric of your being.
You start to embody those qualities naturally. Courage in the face of fear, compassion for yourself and others, clarity amidst confusion. It becomes your default state, or at least much closer to it.
That story of Sarah, the final one, seemed to capture this. How her 30-day challenge led her to this realization of her own potential, seeing herself not just as someone experiencing reality, but as a co-creator of it.
A powerful shift in identity, from passive observer to active participant, realizing her inherent capacity for positive influence on her own life and the world around her.
And this leads naturally to that quality of equanimity, doesn't it? That Buddhist ideal.
Upekkha, yes. It's often described as balance, groundedness, remaining calm and centered, especially when things are difficult.
So it's not indifference,
Yeah.
not being cold or detached.
Not at all. It's the opposite of indifference. It's deep caring combined with wisdom. It's the ability to acknowledge challenges, pain, loss, without being completely swept away or consumed by them. It's maintaining that inner balance, that clear perspective.
The resilience that comes from that deep inner peace we talked about earlier.
Exactly. It's the stability that arises when your well-being isn't solely dependent on external conditions always being pleasant. You develop an inner refuge.
So it's not about avoiding life's storms, but learning to navigate them with grace and strength from within.
Beautifully put. And the sources really emphasize this whole journey is continuous. It's not like you reach enlightenment and coast.
Right. It's a dance.
A dance, yes. A dance between effort, consciously cultivating these positive states, and surrender, accepting what is, letting go of attachment. Each day, each moment offers a new opportunity for practice, for growth, for inspiration.
Which brings us to that final, really thought-provoking question for everyone listening. What would actually happen? What could be possible if you committed to thinking positively, to cultivating this inner garden, not just for a 30-day challenge, but for the rest of your life?
Imagine the cumulative effect.
The potential ripple effects seem huge. Stronger, more loving relationships, deeper personal fulfillment and meaning, maybe unlocking boundless creativity, and ultimately leaving a legacy, however small or large, of kindness and positive impact.
The potential is immense, and the beautiful, empowering truth is the choice and the power to begin that cultivation resides within each of us right now.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive, exploring the transformative power of positive thinking, really grounded in that profound Buddhist wisdom.
It's been a pleasure exploring these ideas.
We really hope the insights and stories we've shared today give you something to, reflect on. Maybe consider how you might gently apply some of these principles in your own life.
Remember, the journey is deeply personal. There's no single right way.
Absolutely. We encourage you to explore these concepts further if they resonate. And maybe just hold this final thought. The seeds of a truly positive and purposeful life, they are already within you. Nurturing them simply begins with a conscious, gentle choice of each thought.
May you cultivate your garden well.